Hi guys, Jamie here. Just wanted to take a few seconds to pay respects to one of the pillars of our gaming community. I've not really written anything down. I just wanted to speak from the heart for a minute. Within the last couple of days, we've lost Satoru Iwata, President and CEO of Nintendo. He started with sort of humble beginnings. He was a developer, worked on games like Balloon Fight and Earthbound, went on to work on some of the most important series in gaming. He worked on Pokemon, on Super Smash Bros, on Kirby, eventually making his way up to president of arguably the most sort of respected games company in the world. And he was more than just a corporate president by his own admission. He was a gamer himself. And I think that's why he resonated so much with the gaming community. People could identify with him. He was a real person. Just 55 years old when he passed, which in this day and age is incredibly young. But his achievements in that short period of time are undeniable. His contribution to the gaming industry is incredible. And if I can achieve just half of what Iwata-san achieved in his lifetime, I'll be incredibly proud. Now, one of the most, I guess, fascinating things to come out of this whole ordeal is that, generally speaking, the internet can be an awful place. Often when celebrities pass, within hours there are jokes about them being made and sort of stories and just general disrespectful comments being made. Now, maybe I was just fortunate enough to be on the right side of the internet, but I didn't see any of that yesterday. I saw nothing but outpourings of love and adoration, pictures and tributes and artwork. It was just lovely to see, and a real sort of testament to what a great man Iwata was. And if you can hear me up there, please understand how much he meant to us. Now obviously we here in the gaming community, this has hit us fairly hard. Actually upset me more than I anticipated. And I never met the guy. So I can only begin to imagine how hard it must be for those closest to him, to his friends and his family. So our thoughts are with them at this time. There's not much that we can do now to ease the pain, but we just wanted to dedicate this episode to the memory of Satoru Iwata. So this one's for you. Thank you.
Hi all, and welcome to the Out of Life podcast. Now, I just want to thank Jamie for that amazing intro. You could just tell that came straight from the heart, and Jamie being a spokesman of our community, it really was worthwhile. But we'll crack on with the pod anyway, even with the sad news this week. And I'm joined this week by Dave Wyatt.
Meow.
And Adam Thompson.
Hello.
And of course, I am your host, Ross Miller. Now, it's been a really, really busy week with Comic Con. We've got lots and lots of news to get through, but we'll start things, as we always do, with what we've been watching and playing. So, Adam, we'll start with you. What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Rocket League this week, which came out on Tuesday. It's on PS Plus for free.
Okay.
It's been very good. I've enjoyed it.
It looks good.
It does look like a lot of fun. It's on PC as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant because everyone kind of understands the rules because it's based just loosely on football, but you've got rocket-powered cars that you can fly about and do flips in. It's great. It's good. It's a good laugh.
I'm seeing lots of clips on Reddit and Facebook, so it must be doing quite well already. But then it's PlayStation Plus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free,
Yeah.
so they've got like 2 million downloads already between PS4 and PC, and it's only been out for a couple of days, so it's done well.
Well, glad to hear it. And what have you been watching?
I started watching Wayward Pines.
I've been watching that.
I've binge watched 8 episodes over the last 2 days. got hooked by the mystery. So I've enjoyed that. I'm just crazy trying to work out exactly what was going on for most of it.
I've only ever seen the adverts. I've never seen it. What is it?
Oh well.
Yeah, it's difficult to describe without really kind of spoiling anything. But a Secret Service agent, wakes up in a weird, town out in Idaho in America, and then just everything's kind of weird and creepy, and there's lots of mysteries going on. That's basically it. It's following that kind of story.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been doing. It's on a Thursday night in America. Is that right?
I have no idea.
Something like that. And my wife's been watching it when I've been doing some work prep for the podcast or something like that. But it's one of them shows that I just can't help but turn round and go and ask her what the F is going on. Rare for me not to actually say the swear word for some reason. But yeah, no, it looks very, very interesting.
For you.
Yeah, I know. What the F? I might as well say fuck.
It's that if the mystery of what's going on hooks you, you'll really enjoy it, because that's what it's all about. It's the questions. What's that guy doing? Why is this weird? Why is there an electric fence? What is going on?
Yeah. It's on my list. It's on my list of things to watch. I just haven't started yet.
Right.
Make sure you get plenty of time, because you will end up watching all of them.
Well, Dave, we'll move on to you. What have you been playing?
I've been playing. I've been actually playing The Wolf Among Us. I didn't get round to it the first time, so I've picked it up on Xbox in the sale. That's quite good.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm only on episode 2, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, I think I prefer it to The Walking Dead.
Ah, that's a bit of a bold statement.
Yeah,
that's high praise.
It runs better. It runs
Yeah.
better, and I don't know if that's just because I played Walking Dead on 360. But it's just it feels more polished. The writing's a little bit better, and visually it's much nicer. The art style they've gone for this time is much better. Not that there was anything wrong with The Walking Dead, but no, I do. I'm quite impressed with this one.
Ah, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it if you've not picked it up.
Yeah. You say that the week after it was in sale last week.
Yeah.
On Xbox.
So I was a bit sneaky because my girlfriend wanted that one, and I thought I could play Walking Dead again, and Game of Thrones, and Tales of the Borderlands. I wanted all of them, so I just bought the bundle,
collection.
but then made out it was all for her. So I got brownie points and plenty of games to play.
Does she listen to this podcast, Dave?
Oh God, I hope not. I have a sneaky suspicion she listens to the first sort of couple of minutes and then goes, "Yeah, it was really good." Which is fine.
Right. So what have you been playing?
That was what I was playing.
Yeah, very true. But it's a Telltale game, so I would say it's more watching than playing. To be fair.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Fair enough.
What have you been watching?
I watched the Minions film with my niece at the cinema.
Woo!
It was alright. It's an hour and 44 minutes though, and I think the joke ran dry after 20 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. I know from our chats with Adam that Adam is practically half a minion himself. But to be fair, a lot of people from Glasgow are considered minions. But yeah, basically, Dave, what's your overall thoughts about the movie?
It was quite funny. I think that if it was an hour and 20 minutes or just a little bit, it would have been better. I mean, I felt that the film ended more times than Lord of the Rings, to be honest. The villain kept getting back up. And, my niece she's almost 4. She's 4 next month, and she was definitely bored after about half an hour, 45 minutes.
She must be absolutely heartless.
Yeah. Well, obviously, it's a kids' film, so it's not going to have much character development or interesting plots. It is what it is. It's 3 minions on a road trip, and it's alright. It works. It was fun. It was a fun film.
So I
don't know if I'd watch it again.
Quite well compared to a lot of them, where it doesn't ruin anything else from any of the other films or anything like that.
Well, I've not actually seen Despicable Me 1 or 2, so I didn't even know what Minion was.
Better. After seeing them all, they are so much better than the Minions.
Yeah. It has prompted me to perhaps go and watch them films, so I think that's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would have enjoyed that a wee bit more if you'd watched them the right way around.
Perhaps, yeah.
I don't think you need to. I don't think the Minions has got any relation to the other ones.
I didn't feel that there was any sort of backstory that I was, missing out on. I didn't feel like I was in the dark from not watching the films.
You build a wee bit
Technically,
more-
you did watch a backstory.
Well,
So-
that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you build a wee bit more of an affinity with the minions themselves in the first two. Than
They
just
don't.
one and
How
two.
can you build an affinity with a little yellow thing that doesn't talk much?
Because they're hilarious in the films. So you like them. That's what I mean. So you maybe be a wee bit more on board with an hour and a half or whatever.
Hour and 44 minutes.
Yeah, same difference.
I just think it's quite funny the fact that Adam, obviously clearly absolutely loved it, and your 4-year-old niece get bored. I think that says quite a lot. Do you not?
I don't know if it was a hot day. She has to sit on a booster seat, which is like solid plastic, and that was soaking wet after 20 minutes. I thought she may have wet herself, but she hadn't. So
Did you?
no, because I time it right. I don't buy a big drink and then I save for the whole film. I'm good like that.
I had to go for a pee midway through Jurassic Park, and it was really, really awkward because I couldn't find my seat on the way back because I forgot where I was sitting.
That's the worst thing to happen.
I just sat in the floor. Funny looks, but no one cares. Right, so I suppose you're all absolutely intrigued to find out what I've been watching and playing this week, aren't you guys? Yeah. Watching, I've now up to date on Hannibal. Won't go
And
into
season
any
3?
about that. Yes. Fully up to
Further
date.
ahead than me. I've still not
Well, that's
started it.
With my binge watching, basically. Other than that, I haven't actually watched too much this week, to be honest with you. I've been quite busy with work and things like that. But playing-wise, I've played a few games this week, and starting with my third playthrough of Guacamole. Have any of you played Guacamole?
I
No, actually.
played it for about 15 minutes on the Vita once.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love that game. Anyone that hasn't played it, it is a great platformer, great combat. It is just fun from the word go, basically.
I think, was it not in PS Plus a couple of months ago?
It was that, yep. It was the Free Gaming Plus a couple of months ago.
I probably downloaded it and just not got around to it yet then.
No, these Metroidvania sort of ideas, and it gets it really right. As I said, the combat is fantastic on it, and the difficulty into it when it gets towards the end, maybe I'll explain it to you. As you go through a section, you will meet a goat who gives you a goat power, right? So you can maybe double jump or destroy things of a particular colour. But by the end of it, it is a very complicated type game, and you're living a lot off of reaction. That way. It's not the type of game that I can really see you put down and then pick up 6 months later and you left it. You start where you left off. It actually takes a little bit of time to get back into the rhythm of things, and as I say, it's my third free playthrough. It's great on co-op. If you can, it's not expensive. Pick it up because it's really good fun.
What are you playing it on? Xbox One?
Yeah, I played it on Xbox One. Yeah,
I might pick it up actually.
it's great. It's a great. I played it with my wife co-op. My 4-year-old loves it. He likes watching it on the screen. One of the powers is pole power, where quite literally you turn into a smaller chicken to fit through smaller places.
You are selling it to me.
I'm selling it to you. And you are a dead Mexican wrestler. Or luchador.
Sold.
Sold. That is it. That is it.
Oh,
I don't know why I didn't carry on when I played it the first time.
I like that. A dead Mexican wrestler.
Yes, you are a dead Mexican wrestler.
Does that play into the story in some way?
I'll just give a massive spoiler, which it reveals in the first 2 minutes of the actual thing. So, go on YouTube, check out the gameplay. Your PlayStation, you maybe got it for free. Xbox, it's inexpensive. In fact, it was Games with Gold, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was Games with Gold.
I missed that month.
Oh.
I didn't have an Xbox One at the time, but I was doing that thing where you go on the site and for whatever reason, I missed that month.
Oh.
I know.
Sad. Well, anyway, we'll move on. Now, Dave has been sitting all weekend with a notepad and pen because he can't really afford a laptop. He's sitting in the library right now. And basically, he has written down everything that he's seen at Comic-Con at the weekend. So, Dave, take it away. What's all the news coming out from Comic-Con this weekend?
Well, I'm just going to start by saying it's not all the news. There was so much. So much news.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
What's the highlights of Comic Con then?
This is my highlights. I'm going to start with the TV news first because that's on my first page. So it makes life easier.
Yeah.
We saw a new trailer for Doctor Who. I do quite like Doctor Who, but I'm not up to date. So I was a bit confused as to what was going on. But we saw Maisie Williams for the first time. And I love her, so yeah, that was quite good.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Why not?
For watching Game of Thrones, I just don't like her or the character that she plays with Arya Stark. I don't know why, I just don't. It's one of those ones that just didn't click with me for whatever reason. And then I seen her pop up at the end of the teaser for Doctor Who, and you're like, not her again.
So she sees him, she says something along the lines of, hello, old man. And he's like, you. So she's obviously some major character. Anyone got any? Do you watch Doctor Who, Ross? I can't remember.
Yeah, no, I love Doctor Who, yeah. I think she's a Dalek.
You think she's a Dalek?
Well,
It's
Janet
possible.
Coleman started out as a Dalek, so you know.
Yeah. I think she might be his granddaughter, you know.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was as crazy as that.
Yeah, I think.
It's Doctor Who after all.
But I mean, he had this granddaughter years ago, and then she disappeared, and we never heard, nothing more. So
Dave
I wouldn't be
has
surprised.
cracked it. You hear all the latest news on Out of Life first when Dave cracks it right here, right now.
Of course, I mean, I haven't seen the last series, so I could be completely wrong. I really need to catch up and watch that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but-
They didn't see anything for that, so it's completely new for this next series. You know, having Maisie Williams in it, so no one knows.
Well, there was some old woman in the trailer that they paid a bit of attention to, and I didn't know who that was. And it looked like
That's
it looked like you're supposed to know it. Don't spoil it for me, Adam.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah,
Yes,
I just
we all
remembered. Yeah. Well, so everyone check out the Doctor Who trailer. What else happened?
We had 2 Walking Dead trailers.
Yeah, I've
I love
seen both of
Walking
them.
Dead. The first trailer was for the main series, Walking Dead. That's gonna be quite good. Rick's clearly gone quite mad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been going mad for about 3 years, but he's definitely hit his limit, hasn't he?
Or that's just what they want you to think. You know?
Well, but that's back in October with a 90-minute special, and I personally can't wait.
Okay. And the second trailer was?
For Fear the Walking Dead.
That's right, the spin-off.
Yeah, this looks quite interesting. When I first heard about it, I was a bit sort of, are they trying to cash in? But from what I've seen in the first, because there's been a few teasers and the trailer, and they're telling how the virus took over. So it starts off before, the dead start wandering about.
Right, okay, yep.
Yeah, I think it looks quite interesting. I'm not entirely sold on the actual characters themselves. I mean, if you're irritated by a character in a trailer, that's a bit worrying.
But it gives you someone to root to get killed first.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam, you're not a Walking Dead fan. Having seen these trailers, would you go and watch them now?
Yeah. As long as I think I'll watch the spin-off when it first starts, because that's starting at the kind of, it's being a bit of a prequel and starting off with what's actually happened with it kicking in, the zombies and the apocalypse or whatever else. And then if I enjoy that, I think then I'll go, yeah, why not? And I'll binge watch the rest of it. The original series.
I get the feeling it's going to be quite different. It has a different feel to it. I mean, it's set in Los Angeles, I think.
Yeah.
So already that's a different part of America. But that's been committed for 2 whole seasons, so they're betting big money on that.
Well, we'll just have to see if it pays off then.
Well, August 23rd, that's released. So,
I will. I'm looking forward to it. I think I'm going to watch both of them. Again, I binge watched Walking Dead. I watched the first season, then didn't catch up until last year. So I'm looking forward to both seasons, and it gives me something to watch. So I'm quite happy.
The main series of Walking Dead's been up and down in quality. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have dropped off watching, and I thought the last series got quite good towards the end. So I'm pretty hopeful.
I will. Good.
But
Good.
Walking
Right.
Dead's always good.
Yeah. And moving on next.
Next, we've got there was quite a bit of DC TV, the DC universe.
TV.
Now, I'm not very good at this because I don't really watch the show. We had some news about the Flash. Apparently, the original Flash has been cast. I don't know who the original Flash is. I think Adam watches the Flash, so I'll let him explain that one.
I watched the TV show, but I don't know the comics that well. So I know they've got two of the other Flashes that aren't, Barry Allen, like the original one from the comics, and then one that was there as well before Barry Allen was in it, in the comics series.
Yeah.
So they asked the two of them, another love interest, and told us that the villain's going to be Zoom, whoever that is.
I bet he runs fast.
Yes.
You say Zoom or Zune?
Zoom.
Okay, I was wondering if he was going to get attacked by Microsoft's failed music platform.
Dave, you just stole my joke.
You can't make that joke. Your accent's just as bad.
Yeah, so they've got lots more
good.
people with super speed powers, just like the Flash, to be in it this time instead of there just being two of them. So we'll see how that works out.
Fair enough. Yeah, I may get around to watching that show eventually.
The Flash is
I'm
good.
not.
No, not doing it for you. You're not really a DC fan, are you, Ross?
No, I'm not. Although, maybe some of the things I've seen have changed my mind.
Well, we'll get to that. And then we had some Arrow news. He's got a new costume from the looks of it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot with Arrow. Apparently he's going to call himself Green Arrow now.
Which
because
I wasn't aware he didn't anyway.
Yeah, he's been called the Arrow for all this thing, or the Vigilante before that.
So, the bell end.
Yeah,
so
also
again,
probably called that too.
Again, it's not a show I've seen.
Well, we're great, aren't we? We were talking about things we haven't seen them.
I've
As
seen
a
them,
resident expert, tell us.
It's one of those, they didn't call him Green Arrow before this in the 3 seasons that they've had so far, and now apparently in the 4th season they're going to call him that, and he's got a new costume. That was literally all the news for Arrow. So, moving on.
Well, yeah, but then, the reason I was talking about them shows is because they then had another show set in the same universe, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I thought actually looked quite good. It was like a low-budget Avengers.
Budget Avengers.
That's pretty much what it is, I suppose, because they're being brought together to fight this bigger threat that we don't know anything about yet by a time traveller.
Yeah.
Rory from Doctor Who, whatever they get, Arthur Darvill.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Which is ironic that the next thing I see him in after Doctor Who is a time travelling thing that he's doing.
Yeah, he's a man from the future come back to warn them. But I did have to chuckle when they were advertising all the different characters, and you've got such classics as Captain Cold.
Yeah, that's comic books for you.
What is that? Captain Cold, White Canary.
Yep.
Hawk Girl.
Yep, why? That's all sounds
They're
familiar.
just awful.
Just
awful
comic
names.
books for you. That's all that is.
But I thought that looked quite interesting. It kind of made me actually want to watch the other 2 shows. So maybe.
What they have announced about that already is obviously it's a kind of shorter series of that one, and it's coming in at the mid-season point, and it's taking over when Arrow and Flash stop for their mid-season. That will take over and fill the gap in. It's supposed to be spinning off from the Flash directly as well, so presumably it'll tie more into that story.
Right. So is it a one-off or is it? I
don't know if it's a one-off or not, but the next however many episodes they've got planned for it, it's shorter than a full season, and it's getting put in, at the mid-season point, so in January, when everything else stops, that'll start.
Fair enough. Well, that's all the DC TV news. And then, did anyone see the Ash vs Evil Dead trailer?
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Ash is back.
It looks they managed to make it in the 80s. Did they have a time traveling device back there?
I thought it looked really good.
Yeah.
It looks good, but it does look like it's from the 80s, which I thought was quite good.
Well,
Sam
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the over the top effects and blood and all that.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant the actual effects themselves.
Yeah, I thought there was a slight sarcasm in there.
Yeah, in style is what I meant.
Yeah, well, fair enough, fair enough. No, I get that actually, but you know, the nostalgia thing might kick in. It's a very impactful sort of viewing thing that when you look at it because of the way that they do it all with more visual effects, isn't it? It's all, you know, how much gore can we get, how much can we sort of try and shock people, but are they going to be able to continue it up in a TV budget? Mind you, the way TV programmes are going today, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've definitely gone for a more comedy route. I know that
Yeah.
the second one was funnier and the third one was definitely funnier than the first one, but yeah, it looks like they've ditched the horror and gone straight for almost slapstick. Not in a bad way, but it's not far
Shaun
off.
of the Dead style.
Well, I just
want
want yeah, I was just a bit weird when the Chuckle Brothers turned up, though. You know what I mean?
I
was just a bit far. Yeah.
I'd have loved that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But it's cool to see him. I mean, Ash is obviously quite old now. I like the fact that he was putting his back brace on and putting his teeth in. It's taking the mick out. I'm interested. That's out on October 31st. I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Ah, right, okay. And next?
And then final bit of TV news: Heroes Reborn. Reborn.
Reborn, yeah.
Let's go for that.
That show needed a break.
Yeah.
That, you know, it needed to take that time off before coming back as this new incarnation of it and keeping it as the timeline the same and everything. I'm actually really excited for this, to be honest with you.
Have you been reading my notes? That's what I've written.
I was going to say, I haven't watched Heroes, so does it, like, is the gap between Heroes finishing and this starting the same, like, in the mythology?
Yeah, it looks like it, definitely. Yeah. I would say you would probably need to see at least the first two series of Heroes before watching this one. This is a sequel series from the looks of it.
Yeah, but I would imagine they don't want to alienate viewers, so I think they'll maybe try and keep the arc separate in a way.
They'll have to keep it accessible, just in a way you can think of that now as, well, that was before and this is the story now, sort of thing.
Possibly
separate entities, but just in the same universe and following some of the same characters.
Possibly, but I didn't realise I was so nostalgic over this program. When that music started, at the sort of, I don't know how to explain the sort of music, but when some of the chords from the original program started, I did get a bit of a, I miss that program actually. I haven't seen it for years. I might go back and watch it before this starts.
No, I'm not that much. I'm not that much.
Oh, I loved it when it first came out. I loved it. It was good. The writing strike did kill it. Because it was halfway through season 2, the season just sort of ended and it never picked up again properly.
No, never.
But that first series was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
And at the time, there was nothing else on TV as good as that at the time.
Yeah. Was Mrs. Brown's Boys on by that point? No.
No, I said good, Ross. I said good.
Right, okay, sorry.
It's got a lot of returning cast, returning characters. I'm really hyped for that.
Yeah, the trailer looked good. I think people will start watching that as well.
Let's put it this way. Out of everything that you've talked about so far, that's at the top of my list at this moment.
Funny enough, me too. That's why I saved it till last.
Ah.
And I love Walking Dead, so that, you know, I really didn't think I'd get excited for this program. But, September 24th. Bring it on. Can't wait. Oh, I'm going to have a bloody baby, ain't I? All this stuff's coming out, and I'm just not going to be able to watch it.
Dave, do you know that after the baby's born, you can clean it? It doesn't have to stay bloody. Right, so what's next on the list?
That's the TV. There was other TV news, but I've skimmed some of the stuff that we didn't really need to talk about. It's all on the internet. I'm sure everyone knows it already.
Yeah, Dave the Skimmer.
Dave the Skimmer, yeah, that's
or
what they
Dave,
call
where
him.
could you go if you wanted to keep up to date on a lot of news?
Well, I would personally go to the Out of Life's Facebook page where regular news is posted throughout the day and links to all these trailers that we're talking about. But that's just me personally.
Fuck that, go IGN, it's much better. Right, okay. Right, what was next? So we're moving on. We've done all TV. That's all done and dusted. So we'll move on now to the movie news.
Yeah, not as much movie news, but big movie news. So it makes up for it. Let's just start with a big one. Batman versus Superman.
It looked good. Very good.
Up until this point, couldn't care about that film. But that trailer, it's definitely sold me.
You know something?
I want to see the fight. That's why I'm interested in it.
Right. I have, as you know, I'm not particularly a DC fan. I like the Nolan Batmans.
Yeah.
I like Schneider. Couldn't be bothered with that shite that he done with that guy with an S on his chest, whatever that was called.
No, Man of Steel.
Man of Steel, yeah, it was
Yeah,
terrible. It was
it
terrible in my
was.
mind.
It
Right?
really was.
But I know Kevin Tarnell absolutely lambasts us for saying that, but it was.
Yes, well, he
I
too
haven't
lazy to
even
come on
watched
the
it.
show.
Yeah. But, you know something? I'm totally marked out. I thought it looked fantastic. I'm really, really excited for this movie. And you know something, that's a big thing for me to admit about this. The way that they've done the trailer was great. The way that they brought it on. I'm just so happy. I cannot wait for it. It just looks great. For anyone that hasn't seen it, just go online and watch it now. It is a couple of minutes and you'll get you so excited for the movie next year.
Yeah, definitely.
Having not seen Man of Steel, Adam, would you go back and watch it now based on this trailer?
Watch Man of Steel? No.
Yeah. No.
I don't really feel that I need to because.
I think I'll probably watch it again now. I've only seen it the once. I didn't like it. I'll probably watch it again now.
From so many people that have actually sat and watched it and said, "No, don't bother. It's not that good." I thought, no. So I'll just go watch the good film, which will be this one because they have Batman and Superman fighting one another. That's what I'm here for.
But the story does look like a direct continuation. It's the effects of what happened in that pile of turd, with the fight in the city that everyone complained about at the time as being, a bit over the top with them smashing the amount of people that must have died in that. And this is directly following on from that. You've got Batman being like, "Hang on a minute, you smashed me building up. What are you doing? What are you playing at?" And having it. So he's turned up.
I'll just come into it from Batman's point of view with F this guy.
That's a good point.
But did you notice how they're referring to him as the Bat and the Vigilante and things like that again? He's clearly screw loose Batman.
Yeah, I've been doing it too long.
Possible post-Robin death Batman.
Well, I think it is post-Robin death Batman because there's a scene in it where Robin's old outfit is on like a pedestal type thing in a case, and on it says, there's a message from the Joker, which I really wish I'd wrote down because I forgot what it says, but it says something on like the "ha ha ha, you let your family die" or something. Oh, who's laughing now? Or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Was it not that? I thought it was the Riddler, but anyway, I don't know enough about it.
It could be the bit. I'm assuming it was the Joker, but
it was just graffitied on. You can't really tell who it was from.
Yeah, no, I'm just making a real wild accusation. Don't just take my word for it. That's the way I took from it.
Right.
I'm going to be completely wrong.
I suppose that's the point of podcast, to get things horribly wrong so that people can fanboy at us and go, "You're stupid."
It's fine. We might get some feedback next week then. How do you feel now you've seen Lex Luthor on screen? Because at first I was thinking him as Lex Luthor was a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy hair.
Yeah, that's not staying on.
It can't stay on.
No. But it's funny because it went down very different from the Smallville Lex Luthor, which you have to say is probably people's sort of favourite at the moment, isn't it? You would say?
I probably think of him, not that I watch the programme, but I normally think of him when someone says Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I'm the same. It seems to be a very, very different approach. Like, let's face it, he's a great actor. He's going to do really, really well, I'd imagine, in the role, but it's a very different direction for Luthor. And it's funny, but that seems to be the thing that people are talking about, is Luthor, isn't it? That way it's like, how is Luthor going to play into this? And it's good to have a sort of character like that is going to be such an integral part to the story, and people are as intrigued by him, not just the whole BVS stuff.
Yeah, I thought the real controversy was, is the hair a wig or real?
That's what you took away from
really talking about.
But there was an interesting bit I noticed where you've got Lex Luthor, and then you see the body of what's his face from the last film, Zod.
Yes.
And I don't know DC Comics well, but I'm pretty sure in the comics he builds some sort of suit and battles Superman himself. I'm not saying they're going to do that now, but I'm wondering if that's important for future films, and whether they're just setting Lex Luthor up now to be in future, because obviously the Justice League movie is coming eventually.
Yes.
Well,
because I
was going to say maybe it's part of their plan to avoid the criticism Marvel's had with that the villains aren't very interesting. Well, if he's already been in a couple of films, by the time he gets to being the big villain in the Superman film, you're going to actually care more about what he's doing and his his motivations for what he's doing, and make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Or at least that's maybe the plan.
Negative from the trailer. Just can't get into Wonder Woman at all.
Yeah, not interested in her at all.
I feel like she's just been tacked in there to make it more of a... Yeah.
I agree. I don't know. I just didn't feel it. Maybe there was too much else exciting in the trailer to go, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I agree.
But, that was the only negative in the trailer that I could really think about, and Lex Luthor's here. But
I would like to see more of Alfred as well. We didn't see much of him.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons, I'm looking forward to seeing him play Alfred.
Aren't we all? So what else have we got in the movie news?
Sticking with DC, we've got Suicide Squad. Now, initially the trailer leaked online, and at first I didn't bother watching it. I don't want to watch a dodgy cam of a film. But then David Ayer, I think that's how you pronounce his name, tweeted about how unhappy he was that so many people had now seen this trailer, that he'd only meant for the panel and it was unfinished stuff, blah, blah, blah. They released an official statement and then officially released the trailer anyway.
If you're going to do anything, at least have a decent copy out there for people to...
This is basically their point. Yeah. This is what they're saying. If you're going to watch it properly. Which I kind of respect.
Which is what I did. I waited until the official one was out.
So did I.
Yeah, and then I was quite disappointed. I don't know about you two.
Well, the best thing about that trailer was the 2-3 seconds worth of Batman on the top of the car.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No. For me, I really liked it too, and I know our own Scott Sedman is really excited for this movie as well, and discussions I've had with him. It took 2 times of watching it, but I really like that trailer, considering how early in development it is, how far off a release it is. I think it was a great intro trailer, basically. I think Harley Quinn is a great character from what I've seen so far. I think they showed a tiny little bit of the Joker, and you can't really get the Joker's character until he's on the screen longer anyway, so that's totally fine. I'm not going to fanboy it and read into it too much. The rest of the characters I don't really give a toss about, other than they showed a lot of Will Smith, didn't they?
Well, he's the big star name, is he not, really? Compared to some of the others.
Potentially. But I thought it was a great trailer, for considering how early in development it is, and considering it wasn't meant for public consumption or something like that. But it gave me enough to actually get me excited about the movie. And I tell you something, the music that goes along with it is really good as well, actually.
Yeah, the music was quite good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
So what particularly didn't grab you?
I don't really know. I don't know whether it was I had too high expectations, or I'm not really sure, because everyone had seen it leaked. I was expecting, and they were talking about how amazing it was. I think I went into it expecting a lot more, and I had watched it straight up, not long after watching Batman vs Superman. I'm sure it's an okay. I'm looking forward to the film anyway.
The thing that I found with it is I don't know a lot of the characters well enough, because I'm not a big comic book guy, particularly, although I've enjoyed a lot of the films, and they didn't show enough to tell me, right, that's that character and that's what he does, and that's that character and that's what he does, and that's why he's cool. They didn't really show you enough of that. He just showed you they're there, but they haven't sold me yet on what they do.
Yeah, because they haven't filmed it, probably. It's that early that they haven't filmed it, yeah.
Critiquing the trailer. If you're listening to the show, don't show me anything.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, right, is I went through, I don't know any of the characters, right, in a previous podcast, if anyone's listened to, I went through, and I'm sure I called it, like, serial rapist guy, or something like that. You know what I mean? And I didn't know who any of the characters were anyway, but, the characters that you wanted to see there were Deadshot, Joker, Harley Quinn, you know what I mean? And you got to see more of them than you did anyone else, so I'm happy with that.
I liked Harley Quinn in the animated series, so it'll be nice to see a different version of that.
And she's a great actress, so I'm sure she'll do the character justice as well.
I do think seeing the Joker on screen and not just that awful picture has definitely. I wasn't really worried anyway. I think Jared Leto, or however you pronounce his name, is a great actor anyway. I wasn't worried he was going to be a bad Joker, but he doesn't look as bad as I thought he would do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the look's fine. I'm still not sold on it yet, but we just haven't seen enough of it. You're not going to get the true
No, I know that.
version of the Joker in that kind of small snippet of trailer. So
But when
I'm
they
not
release,
worried. I'm not sold yet.
when they released that image of him with all the tattoos and holding his head, and he's got damage tattooed on his forehead, I was thinking, oh god, what is that?
Yeah, that's just ridiculous looking.
But having seen it now, I'm thinking, okay, I'm looking forward to it. I'll watch it anyway. I'll probably go and see it the day it comes out. I just don't feel it was the most exciting trailer of Comic-Con.
Exciting as in the trailer itself, or as in the fact, I define exciting.
Well, I guess, like I said, you compare that to Batman versus Superman. It was Batman versus Superman was a bit more wham bam thank you man, wasn't it? That was
Yeah.
I'm not using the right word. It's not that it wasn't exciting. I think I was expecting more than what I got.
I would say that I rather enjoyed the Suicide Squad a lot more than the Batman v Superman.
Really?
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Yeah.
But I prefer lower key trailers. For example, another Snyder movie, but the Watchmen trailer, I thought that was really good. That was quite low key as well.
I can't remember the Watchmen trailer.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think sometimes the wham bam thank you man trailers just go right. That looks great, but I like a slow intro. I don't know. For me, actually, although I love both the trailers, I would actually say Suicide Squad was my favourite out of the two.
I think I'm going to watch it again tonight now, just to see if I'm wrong. I probably am.
Can I ask, did you watch it on your phone or a big screen TV?
I watched it on my laptop.
Well, that's middle of the way. I always watch my trailers on the telly. Now I refuse to do it on phones.
I did it on my phone.
I watched Star Wars on my phone, the trailer when it first dropped,
So
and I regret that. I regret that.
I haven't watched any of the Star Wars trailers because I don't need to. I'm going to go see it anyway.
Oh, well, it's a shame you're on this podcast because up next we've got the Star Wars panel.
Yeah. That's the only trailer I didn't really watch, and that's just because I'm sold. I'm going to go see it. I'm quite happy with, the kind of plot that they've released so far, and I just want to see it now.
I would say still watch this. It wasn't actually a trailer. What it was like an almost like a behind the scenes feature. It was 3 minutes long, and they were just showing you some of the set designs and things. It hasn't spoiled anything for me, I don't feel.
I like the fact that he's gone back to the building of everything, and it was great to see it, what looks like bits of wood that slowly turn into the Millennium Falcon.
I was so impressed, and I love the way they were talking with, everyone that they were talking to and who was talking on the film. They talked with such passion. They love Star Wars. This is Star Wars fans making a Star Wars film.
Well, it's a guy, and he's just like, what is it, I can die now? Or something like, he takes his Stormtrooper headset off. It's just a Stormtrooper, he's like, I can die now. You know what I mean? Like, if you can catch it, it's a great 3 minutes, and as you said, it shows like, was it they had to redo the Chewie mask quite a few times because people kept on hugging him?
Yeah, they said the Chewie costume had worn out a lot quicker than they were expecting. But I would I'd hug him every time I saw him. Let's be honest.
I would do a lot more than hug him, but fair enough.
You like big hairy men, though, don't you?
Yeah, Dave. That's why you and me are engaged. But we can move to America now. Anyway, right. So, anything else on Star Wars, guys? Anything you want to add in, apart from Adam?
That would be a no.
Okay, fair enough. Wait, what's next?
The next was we had. I've not written it down. Fox. It is Fox, isn't it? Do X-Men. Is it Fox? Yeah, it is. I'm sure it is.
I don't care.
I wrote it down for every film except for these two. They did. They shown a Deadpool trailer, which everyone who saw the Deadpool trailer claims is probably the best trailer of Comic-Con. I haven't watched it myself because it's only a video. Someone's filmed it on their phone. I'm not watching that.
Yeah, it's leaked out. There's no official release for it. I was confused there for a second.
So I'm just going to say at this point, we had a discussion earlier on before we recorded this podcast, and what we decided was anything that was leaked and not official released, we're going to mention but not discuss.
Which is yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair enough. Because if you wanted to watch the trailer, you would have watched it, and if you want to wait, you want to wait. But Ryan Reynolds has since tweeted that an official release is only weeks away anyway. So we'll have a nice HD Deadpool trailer coming out soon, and I'm happy to wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
That's
we can
out on.
discuss it in full detail soon
Yeah.
as. But I know Scott Sedman's watched it again and again, and he did actually say it was absolutely amazing. So
Yeah, I don't want to hear too much about it, but I want to hear how excited people are about it, if that makes sense.
Scott Sedman's exact words were, "I came in my pants," but as his nickname's premature,
Yeah.
That's hardly a surprise.
yeah, so that's fine. Right, next.
Well, we'll finish it off now with X-Men Apocalypse showed a teaser as well. Again, only available if you watch a dodgy cam video of it. But they did. There's a lot of new cast in it that I didn't realize were in it. I didn't realize Sansa from Game of Thrones, Sophie Turner, is going to be playing Jean Grey in this film.
Yeah, they released that before.
Yeah, I don't think these are. And this is new news. I just didn't know. So yeah, that's different.
I think the only thing really new out of that was that they've shown off what
Yeah.
Apocalypse looks like
Yeah,
for the first time.
as far as I'm aware, yeah. But again, we won't go into too much details. We can see the cast talking about it because that was released, but the video itself we'll stop talking about. I quite liked a selfie that they've done with all the cast.
Yeah,
that was quite interesting.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But
So-
before they showed the teaser, Hugh Jackman got on stage and he was, talking about the long road that Wolverine's taken. I think he's been in 9 films now as Wolverine,
yeah.
and
Yeah, including cameos, I think.
he came on the stage and he said 3 words: "Old Man Logan." So I'm going to take that to mean that the next Wolverine standalone film is going to be an adaptation of Old Man Logan, the comic. I don't know if you're too familiar with that one.
Yeah, no, I know of Old Man Logan. Yeah, that'll be great. People have been crying out for it. So
I'm familiar with it purely because of the wild speculation that that's
Yeah.
what this next film for Wolverine will be.
I think that'd be a very clever move as well.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they're doing it as soon. I thought they would have kept them on to do some more X-Men films and
But
then
you think-
done this.
You think 9 films is just not enough of Hugh Jackman?
But he's good as Wolverine. I don't have a problem with him doing more. He's not like he's screwed up the role or anything.
No, he's
I'm
probably
sorry,
the
but he's no longer Wolverine to me. He's just Javert. So
I don't
okay,
understand that.
Les Miserables reference. No one gets it. Fair enough.
No, I've never seen it.
Moving on. Yep.
And that's pretty much it for there's other tidbits in. Well, there was loads. There was just so much. Writing it all down, we would be here all night. But I think that's the highlights. Unless there's anything you two want to bring up.
No, overall, I didn't feel as if I came out this Comic Con with as much as what I have done in previous years. Is that the absence of a certain main studio?
Marvel.
Being-
Marvel.
Yeah.
There was not much Marvel news at all.
Well, there's
Well,
none
I
because
agree.
you weren't there.
So, Ant-Man's out next week or later this week, so there's not much point in them going to Comic-Con to show you a trailer for that or whatever
Yeah.
when it's just about to come out. So
But
there's not.
with all the sort of Marvel talk and everything else released, everything that's coming up for them, I was just next year seemed like a big year, but they said they didn't event. They weren't there. I don't know, but there
I
wasn't
would have
much coming out.
expected to perhaps have a panel and see some of the cast just talking about Marvel. I mean, we've not long had a new Spider-Man announced. You'd think they would have had, was it Tom? I can never remember his name.
Holland,
Nobody.
I think.
Yeah, I always want to say Hiddleston or whatever, but that's Malfoy from Harry Potter. I don't think it's him. But
Oh my God,
I was gonna
that
say-
would be brilliant.
Tom Hiddleston is Loki.
I
Oh, is it?
aye.
I can't.
So we've got
Who is Harry Potter then?
no one
No
knows he's
idea.
dead.
Yeah, well, I
We'll just
should.
say he's dead.
Right, this is why I shouldn't do the movie news.
Yeah, fair enough. Right.
Probably learn my actors first.
Well, we'll move on anyway. So we've now got, I've mentioned it twice already in this podcast, but our very own Scott Sedman. Now, Reece, we've been avoiding it the last few weeks, to be honest with you, but we did have a segment called Your Game Changer, and over the next few weeks, you may hear some regular voices appearing with their own game changer. Now, your game changer is that defining moment of your video gaming life. We've had people on before, and you've got 3 minutes just to talk about that defining moment. So here it is, recorded earlier, Scott Sedman's Game Changer.
Hello, Scott Sedman here, giving you my game changer. So I'm obviously going to be talking about Alan Wake. I mentioned it briefly on podcast and in the group before. Alan Wake is one of my favourite games of all time. The way its world building is incredible. It's not matched by any game, or at least not to the level of I feel I was immersed in with Alan Wake. The story is amazing. It's self-referential. It's self-aware. It's brilliant. It's meta, and it's also a really brilliant story. And it's one that I really hope to see continue someday. The gameplay is fun, it's different, it makes you think on your feet. I really enjoyed it. The character of Alan Wake, more than anything, is probably the best. As he narrates the game, as you're going through it, finding out stuff that tells you what's going to happen. It's really unique, and there's nothing quite like it. And the game itself is a phenomenal piece of art, I would say. Yes, it's a game. Yes, you have ammo. Yes, you have health. Blah, blah, blah. But as a whole, it's something different. It's something new. And it's something I believe everyone should experience. There's a lot I could spoil about the story, which I won't. Because that's the best part of the game, honestly, the story. But the world building. And also there's a mini-series called Bright Falls, which you should watch because that's kind of weird. And Poets of the Fallen. Of Poets of the Fall. They did the music video for it, which is also cool. So yeah, Alan Wake, check it out. It's brilliant. A masterpiece, I would say, and one of my favourite games. This was a really hard thing to do. There's a lot of games I wanted to mention, but Alan Wake is definitely one you should check out. So thanks for listening to my Game Changer, and back to the podcast.
Well, thank you, Scott, for that Game Changer. That was absolutely fantastic. I wouldn't have expected that from you, to be honest with you. Just to say that I've got no idea what it is because he hasn't sent me it yet, but I'll add it in post-edit, and I'm sure it's amazing.
So me and Dave aren't the only ones in the dark about it then.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I know, I too enjoyed Barbie's Dream House, so I'm glad Scott picked that one.
Yeah, so that'll be added in post-edit. But anyway, thank you, Scott, for sending it. Remember, you can send your Game Changer to outoflivespodcast@gmail.com, and we do have some other contact details which I'll play for you now.
You're listening to the Out of Lives podcast. Visit our website at outoflives.net. Tweet us at outoflivespod, or join our page by searching for Out of Lives on Facebook.
Right, well, moving on, we've got very little. With Comic Con, there's very little games news coming out, but one thing that did drop this week was Call of Duty Zombies. Guys, what's your thoughts on the Zombies trailer that dropped this week?
It was a very exciting trailer.
It is an exciting trailer, isn't it? I am not a COD player. My wife is actually the person that's more likely to play COD than me.
That doesn't surprise me.
Why does that not surprise you?
I just feel that perhaps somebody other than you wears the towel.
All right, I'll be sure to tell her that you basically called my wife.
I'm sure she'd agree.
Listen to the podcast, Ross.
Yeah, she listened. She's just came in and gave me a cup of tea, so she heard you say that actually. But yeah, basically, I'm not really a COD player, mainly because I wear glasses. My reactions are not that of a 7-year-old. But the Zombies trailer made me really want. I've never actually got into zombies, so as a novice, does someone want to explain to me why I'm so excited about something that I've never played before?
Because they did a fantastic trailer, that's why.
Okay.
Which trailers? Because I saw 2 trailers. Am I the only one that saw 2 trailers?
No, they did release a longer trailer, but Dave's been on Reddit again, clearly, because that came out post the one that I'm referring to, the official original. Yeah, they had a longer one came out. I've watched that as well, to be honest with you, so we've had 2 trailers of zombies. But you go to right, let's do a quick round the table. Dave, are you going to buy this game?
I am now.
You are now because of zombies?
Oh, completely.
Right, okay. Adam, are you going to buy the game?
Nope.
Why are you not buying the game?
Because it's Call of Duty, and I'm not interested in it anymore. In spite of zombies, which did look good.
So you've enjoyed the trailer, but it's still not enticed you enough to buy the game. How come?
Because I fell out of love with Call of Duty in general, with all of their let's have exosuits and crazy futuristic crap. That Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are the ones that I enjoyed most, and they've strayed way, way, way far away from that now, and that's what I played them for, really. the kind of modern, true to life sort of ones.
Adam, you're a living regurgitation of the internet, but fair enough.
Well,
Dave,
it's true.
Ron Kevin Tarn calls it jumpy, jumpy, shooty, shooty, as we say. But
Yeah, that's the phrase I was thinking of.
there's popular rental services available for people, and now and again I will rent a COD game about 4 months after release, play through the single player as my wife plays it when I'm at work, and then I'll send it back and never touch it again. Guess what?
What?
I was waiting for you to say what there. Thanks for the delay, guys.
Oh no.
just silent for the last 20 minutes of the podcast. Basically, I'm going to get it because of zombies, and I want to shoot zombies with Dave.
And I will have you happily.
Oh, thank you. Brilliant.
No,
Highlights of the trailer, Dave. Give us a wee run through.
there's just so much. I'm not 100% convinced about the boss fight. There was obviously a boss fight at the end.
Yeah, I noticed
I'm not
that,
so sure about that, but I like the whole because before you used to have perks from drinking drinks, which I'm sure they'll still keep, but now there's some sort of pinball machine that gives them sweets that's giving them all these abilities, and I'm getting too excited thinking about it, to be honest.
We'll have to ask Rory Powers if he can be in our team.
Yeah, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? No, I'm not a fan of Call of Duty at all, and I only ever buy the ones that have zombies in it. And I know that sounds ridiculous that I pay £40 for basically one map, and then another £40 for a season pass for another 3 or 4 maps, but I don't care, because I love that mode. I want a standalone zombies mode.
Yeah, and they're not going to do it because they want you to buy the game.
Exactly, and it's working, the bastards.
It's working, yeah. But see, the thing is, right, you're saying that, I know it sounds daft, I'm spending 80 quid in a game, right? You're going to get more than 80 hours?
Probably.
Right, okay. Well, if you equate £1 to an hour, I think that's good value for money.
That is how I rationalise buying a lot of things.
Yeah, if you're going to play it a lot, then you're getting your money's worth out of it, even if all of the other stuff that they went through the trouble of making doesn't interest you.
So haven't you answered your own point there by saying if you can justify it, if you think you'll play zombies and it looks good, would you not get it for zombies alone?
It's...
Oh my god, it feels as if Scott's on the show living with us actually at the moment.
It's a no. There's too many other games to play.
Too many other games to play. Right, that's a fair enough excuse.
It's one of those. This trailer for Zombies is good, but the only Zombies version that I really enjoyed was the original one from COD 5. Me and my friend used to play that when we were drinking. So,
Yeah, I've had 6-7 hour sessions of one match, because it gets to a point where you'll do one round and then you have to that will last almost an hour. You'll have to take a break. So someone will shoot the legs off of a zombie and run around with him whilst everyone goes and gets a drink and goes to the toilet, then come back, and then they'll babysit the zombie with no legs, and it would literally go on endlessly. I mean, I can't do that nowadays. I'm too busy, but I would still gonna buy it and pretend I can do that.
Right, so I'll tell you something. My wife's dad talks about Call of Duty Zombies. Okay? He's a 65-year-old man, and he loves it, but he doesn't have an internet connection in his house, so he plays it by himself.
That's pretty cool.
For hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
I'd be curious to know what round he got to, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will find out what George's name is, got to in Zombies. I'll ask him during the week and we'll find out. But yeah, he comes up, we used to swap Xbox 360 games. Cool father-in-law.
Yeah, very cool father-in-law.
So actually that's a good point for next week's episode. We want to know about your gaming relations. What's the oldest or strangest gaming relation you have? Send it in to us and we'll read it out in the pod next week. I think that's reached the end of this week's podcast. Would you say so?
I would say so.
That's all the Comic-Con news, and that's what last week was all about.
There's just no gaming news at the minute.
There's very, very little. Very, very little. So, we're in a bit of E3 blues, but Comic-Con was always going to dictate this week, and I'm sure we'll turn to a bit of normality with regards to games news. Not that we read and Reddit for all of our game stories. So, guys, let's have a little bit of self-promotion to go. So, Adam, I believe you may write somewhere. Is that correct?
Yes, I write a blog called Plenty of Lives on outoflives.net.
Okay, brilliant.
All
And
about
you get-
games and gaming and stuff. It's very good. You should check it out if you haven't already.
Sure. And Dave, you get into plug?
I did have a blog. I was the Netflixer, but he's sadly passed away.
Oh,
You've
No.
got his name wrong. The Netlinkser.
Netflixer, what did I say?
Netflixer.
Ah, no, they're going to sue me now. The problem is I haven't got time to do it anymore because I spend a lot more of my time now doing the news for the Facebook page, which everyone should like and
Which is fair.
comment and share all my news so that I get bigger post reach because it makes my head really big.
yeah. Well, Dave, I think from everyone out of we thank you for all the news that you're giving to everyone. It is really, really good work that you're doing there, and I can't think of another way to blow you, so I will literally just blow you next time.
I will point out, last week
Yeah.
I was on the pod and there was this really nice moment where Scott and Ross basically just inflated my ego for 4 or 5 minutes. I loved it. It was brilliant. And then when I listened to the podcast, they cut it.
And do you want to know something else? I'm editing the pod again this week, so this is not fucking making that either. Well, anyway, guys, I have been your host, Ross Miller. Earlier on, we gave it all the contact details, so we'd love to hear from you. And please, please, please keep Dave's head inflated and like us on Facebook. So we'll catch you next week with your regular host, Scott Sedman. If he can get his arse out of bed, will return. And I've been your host, Ross. All the best. See you later.
Bye.
Adios.